asked us tonight is that for federal contractors that were on federal contract for DEI, those contracts were terminated. So our guest speaker tonight was one of those people for the DEI contractor, and he got notice this afternoon that he was to stop work at 5 o'clock, and his position was discontinued. So he will not be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, I'm going to share a little bit of information. We asked him, can we get the slides just to share? He wasn't able to send us the slides. When they got the words this afternoon, they were told to stop working. Isn't that crazy? They were just told to stop working, and that's what they did. So what we're going to do is put together information for everybody to talk about how Joshua was going to share with us about the Registered Apprenticeship Program and how that program works. At the time, they had a contract to help Black, quote unquote, minority businesses to be able to find apprentices for their jobs. So they had the resources to help you with finding the apprentice, setting up your registered apprenticeship, helping you to connect with the person in your state, find out how much money was available to you to hire people to be work in your business, how to help you, because when you do a registered apprenticeship, the cost that you pay is lower at first, and then that cost grows over time. And so this is what he was coming to tell us how to do. But unfortunately, he had to, that is really crazy to me. He was, I don't know if you say let go, laid off, fired, stopped from working, like literally this afternoon. So that was one of the areas that we wanted to talk with everybody about tonight. So before I go to the next part, because I'm going to talk some more about what this DEI impact would be for us, or what this political climate would be for Black businesses. Does anybody have any questions about what I'm saying, or doesn't know what I'm referring to when I say the executive order that Trump issued that stopped people that had the DEI contract from working? No. If you look at the name of the order, it says the wasteful and I forget the name of it, but the wasteful government spending on diversity, equity, and inclusion. The wasteful government spending on, so now moving on to my next point about what does that mean for Black and Global. So across the government, you're going to see a lot of shifts for anything that was focused on the underserved community, because President Biden put a lot of emphasis and energy in his executive orders to include people of diverse backgrounds. And President Trump came in and he completely stopped all of that in his tracks. So if you go on the Global Diversity Export Initiative website, which is the group that we have been working with, all of those pages are pulled down. All those pages are down. Every single one. All of the trade missions and events that they have been planned, all of that is pulled down. Every single bit of it. So I reached out to the team at the U.S. Commercial Services because I wanted to get an idea of, what does this mean for them? And literally, they are trying to figure it out. That's the best that I can tell you. So they are trying to figure out, what does this mean for them in terms of their positioning? I know GDEI was made an official program, but I don't know what that means in terms of who they will be targeting. But I'm going to tell you what it means for Black and Global. This is awesome for us. And this is why. Because now we are the people in the game to focus on lifting our own selves and our own community. because now the services that they were previously providing in order to focus on underserved businesses, we have a network that already has the insight, the information, and the connections. And like when our people were in slavery, these people knew not to let us read, because once you let us have information, you can believe that the doors are open. So, on a going forward basis, what that means for us is we're going to teach you how to get contracts in other countries. There's no way that you should stay within this country and limit your business thinking that these people are going to open the doors for you, because there's no way that you can look at the political climate. Well, maybe for some of you, you can look at the political climate and have a kumbaya concept for business. Business is warfare. Business is warfare. And that's what you have to understand. You have to have a military mindset when you're moving as a business, because when you look at the American government is the military and the missionary. First, they send in the missionary, then they send in the military, then they send in the business. So you have to understand the mindset of business. You are an American company. You are an American company, and you are entitled to these services just like anybody else. And when you have difficulty, not if, but when you have difficulty, you can come to us and let us know, and we are more than happy to fight the fight for any of our businesses that they're looking to close doors on. So we did a couple of things. So now we have repositioned ourselves to extend our relationships. So this is what we were talking to the VIP group about earlier, because we're going to continue to take our businesses to commerce. We're going to continue to access the U.S. commercial services. We're going to continue to access any trade mission that is taking place. We're going to continue to apply for STEP grants. We're not putting the brakes on for anything. We're pressing the pedal hard to the floor. And that's what we are looking for our businesses to be behind us and pressing hard to the floor. So the relationship that we created is with a business that has over 100, it's a Black-owned business that does what the U.S. Commercial Services does, and they have offices in 60 countries around the world. And what we're going to do is work with them and partner them to be able to go and get you contracts. So they say their motto is they are what to the U.S. Commercial Services what FedEx is to the post office. That's their motto. That's their motto. And so we created a relationship with them so that we can open doors for our businesses. I'm telling you all, there is no greater time than for you to be able to look for opportunities in other parts of the world. If you all notice that the tariffs that are being implemented and on products that are coming from different countries, certain countries into the US, that's going to drive prices higher in America, which means that people are going to be looking for opportunities to be able to buy American products and services in other countries. Because if you're selling your products, let's say you're selling your widget here in America, and that price point goes up in America. Now, note the difference in what I'm saying. When we work through the US government, that product can only come from someone who has manufactured in the US. But when we work with our new partner, that product can come from anywhere in the world. So if you're buying and you're sourcing from another country where you can cut your costs and strengthen your supply chain, we are able to help you with getting a contract to sell that. So if you're sourcing coffee in Ethiopia and you want to sell that coffee into the Middle East, we can help you with selling your coffee into the Middle East, because now your product does not have to come back to America in order for you to sell your products into the Middle East. If you have shoes and you're manufacturing those shoes in Nigeria and you want to sell those shoes into Canada, before those shoes would have to come back to America in order for us to access the government resources to help you to sell them. Now with our new partner, those shoes don't have to come back to America. They can go straight from Nigeria to Canada. So the world is definitely open for us, and that's the mindset that we have. So does anybody have any questions about what we're going to be doing at Black and Global and how these executive orders and the political climate impacts us? Any questions? No? All right. Our third and final point tonight. So, Bing, do we have the slide, the PowerPoint?
Yes, I sent that to you on the chat.
Is it on the chat? Okay. I see the Facebook group. I only see the Facebook group.
Unclick. Miracle sent it as well unclick.
Okay, can you drop it here in this chat?
Sure. Hang on.
Okay. And that way, if people want to get a copy of it, they are able to grab a copy of it. So we have a very ambitious campaign at Black and Global in 2025. And what we are doing is we decided, we asked the question, how can we help Black American businesses to be able to get stronger so that they can strengthen their domestic operations to be able to scale globally? And we said, what we're going to do is show you and teach you how you're able to build your company with top talent from the continent of Africa. So let me see. Do we have this? Let me see if I can pull these slides. Hold on. LinkedIn. Hold on. Let me see. All right, here you go. I got them. All right, let me share my screen. So we want to get your ideas, your thoughts, and we really need your help with this campaign that we're doing in 2025. Okay, let me see, hold on. Share my screen. And so we're having a fireside chat tonight about the Black entrepreneur's journey. So this year, we're really working to help strengthen businesses' internal operations. We want you to strengthen your team. We want you to strengthen your users' experience, and we want you to strengthen your revenue. So you should have a plan, a strategic plan for 2025 for how you're going to strengthen those three areas. And those are the strategic goals that we're going to be helping you with this year. So we talked about how President Donald Trump's executive order influences our businesses. Basically, everybody needs to have a footprint in the US and a footprint in another country. It doesn't have to be 2 or 3 countries. We can work on one country at a time, but at no time should you be limited to all of your revenue only coming from the United States of America, because you're setting yourself up, because the uncertainty of what's going to be happening over the next few years is extremely great. And if you're naive and deluded, you probably shouldn't be in business anyway. But hopefully you're not naive and deluded, that you're going to sit here and not protect yourself and your family and your legacy. Everybody needs a footprint in the US and a footprint in another country. So we talked about how with the new DEI changes at the federal level, there is a way forward. And what we're proposing is that we get better and we get stronger. And the way forward that we think is Africa can be a perfect market for us to be able to have a footprint. So you have one footprint in the US and you select a country in Africa in order for you to have a footprint. And we're going to show you a very easy user-friendly way for you to create your footprint in Africa. Now, listen to what we're telling you. The continent has 54 countries. They have the youngest people on the planet. If you look at the collective population, they are almost the second largest population on the planet. So you have China, well, India has surpassed China. And if you look at the collective population in Africa, it is competing, moving between the second and third space. So that's how we look at it. And if you're looking at that type of market that's going to grow with young people, this is the time to take their time, their talent, and their energy to help you to be able to grow and scale your business. So, how many of you have seen where people go to the Philippines in order to hire talent? Okay, put that in the, give me an emoji if you've seen that. If you've seen people go to the Philippines to hire talent. Anybody? Yes, okay. Anybody else? Hire talent? All right, Carolette, yes. Anybody else? Yes. Okay, we hire talent from the Philippines. So we are an example of everything we're about to talk about. So somebody built up that market. Somebody took the time to go there and train that workforce to be able to be remote workers. Has anybody ever worked with outsourcing in India? Has anybody ever talked to customer service in India, on the phone in India? Has anybody? Yes. Some people, business owners, took the time to go and build up that market. Well, what about the continent of Africa and those countries? There are millions of young people who have gone to university. They have developed their bachelor's, their master's, some of them their PhDs, and they have no opportunity to be able to use their skills and talent. And they are looking for a way in which they can develop themselves, their family, their business. And you're going to hear from one of them tonight because I wanted her to really share with you firsthand what that experience has been like for her. But we have talked with some of them, and literally they have graduated from university, but they haven't had an opportunity for an internship, and they have not had an opportunity for a job. So many of them think about leaving and not coming back, but many of them want to stay. So what is the solution? In the US, most of the Black-owned businesses do not have employees. And I mean, there are 3.4 million Black-owned businesses in the US, and 3.2 million of them do not have employees, meaning they're a solo show. And that's what we're going to grow beyond. So the solution, the bridge, the opportunity is for Black entrepreneurs in the US as a part of our journey to be able to connect with young African professionals who have the skill, the time, and the talent to help us with our business. Remember our three focuses. We're building the team. We are increasing our user experience, and we're increasing our revenue. So this is our ambitious campaign for 2025. And we are looking for ideas for how we can make this happen. So our goal is to create 10,000 jobs on the continent of Africa. And your ideas can empower 10,000 careers. So we are calling this Hire Africa 2025 campaign. And imagine empowering Black entrepreneurs to hire 10,000 young African professionals in 2025. Can you imagine how this would change the lives of people? If you've ever wanted to have an impact on the continent, if you've ever wanted to give back, if you've ever wanted to open a door, this is the opportunity for our businesses to create that bridge. We're not asking anybody for permission for anything at any time under any circumstances. So what have we done at Black and Global? Remember, I told you the key word this year is relationships. I'm asking everybody, and I asked the VIP group to buy this book. This book is called Who Not How, and the book is by Dan Sullivan. And in this book, Who Not How, I read this book. I mean, it really was a real game changer for me. And he talked about what you focus on is who do you need to get you to the next stage in your business, not how do you get to the next stage in your business. Everything in life is through relationships. You have a relationship with your parents, a relationship with your siblings, a relationship with your teacher, with your spouse, with the person who sells you your cars, with the person that cuts your grass, with the people that you serve. Relationships are the lifeblood of any endeavor. And relationships, if your business is not doing well, that's because you don't have enough relationships in place. And then, so what we're focused on is your team, building your team. Your team is where relationships grow. Who do you need on your team to help your business to grow? So Black and Global, we collaborated and put on our team a Black-owned business that is operating in 47 African countries. And they have over 1,000 remote workforce centers and access to 50,000 plus African professionals. And we have created a partnership with them to be able to have Black entrepreneurs in the US to hire at least one young African professional, at least one. And that is our ambitious goal in 2025. We are looking for ways that we can get in front of our businesses to have our businesses to actually hire at least one young African professional. Now, how is this going to help you create a footprint in both countries? Because when you hire this person, and when I tell you the talent pool is massive, and let me step back and say, I know some people are uncertain. They're not clear. They don't know how to do it. They don't know what to delegate, and then a lot of times you may think that your internal operations are so jacked up, you don't want nobody else to see it. Ask me how I know that. Ask me how I know that. But when you think about the mission that you're on, which is much greater than you as an individual, you have to build a team. You can't be selfish and just sit there and try to do this all by yourself. And you already know that the calling is greater than you can deliver as a person. You really have to get past yourself, because the universe is not going to allow you to rest if you do not put yourself in a position to be able to grow this business. So if you hire a person, one of these young African professionals, that person can do two things for you. And we're going to have Miracle to talk about how she does this exact thing for Black and Global. One, that person can help you with whatever their skills and talent set is. Meaning, if you need graphic designs, if you need CAD, if you need any type of engineering, if you need architecture, if you need any type of medical reporting or medical coding, or if you need any type of engineering, accounting, cybersecurity. I mean, when you look at the list of the talents that all of these professionals have, it is extremely, vastly impressive. And even down to the number of degrees that they have. And so when you hire this person for whatever you need on your team, this person will help you with that role. But in addition to that, that person will be your representative in that country on the ground. So now what does that look like for you? What that looks like is Miracle, as an example. Miracle started with Black and Global as my virtual assistant, my executive assistant, which means when she started out, Miracle started out doing my emails, my calendar, setting meetings, all of those types of things. Then Miracle grew into a role where Miracle does outreach. And remember, I told you building your team and the who on your team, meaning what is the right seat for that person on your team. So when she went into the outreach role, Miracle had a target of, I gave her a target of, I said, find us 20 partnerships that will help Black and Global to be able to identify Black owned businesses that we can help take global. Now, hear what I'm telling you. So, Miracle is she was based in Nigeria. She is Nigerian. And now she's based in Rwanda. So, in that year period of time, Miracle, when we got to the end of the year, Miracle was signing agreement after agreement after agreement. She was doing an amazing job. Now, do you think I attended those meetings with her? Most of them I did not. If I did, I attended one. And then after that, she did all the follow up. She met with them. I trained her. I taught her. I helped her understand what it is that we're doing, what our mission is, and she aligns with our mission. But then she moved to she met with different people. She followed up with them. She's much better at it than I am. And listen, people, I'm a lawyer, and she is much better at following up with these people, closing agreements. We got down to the end of the year last year. I said, Miracle, I'm gonna help you reach your 20. Listen at my words. I'm going to help you meet your 20. I'm scrambling to try to help her meet her 20. And by the end of the year, we got to 19. But in January, she closed her 20th partnership for Black and Global. She closed her 20th partnership for Black and Global. Now, how do we go from her being an executive assistant to her closing partnerships? And now I'm gonna let you know what she's doing now. And she's gonna give you more detail about just how much she has scaled in terms of what she is able to do. And this is the mindset that I'm asking each of us to have as we take the step to understand how to hire somebody. We will teach you that. We'll teach you how to hire them, how to vet them. We'll teach you the security protocols that have to be in place. We'll teach you how to give them access with a password protection. We'll teach you how, like, for example, at the remote working center, they have, everybody has to work at a physical location. Nobody can work from home. And this is an IT-based, Black-owned, IT-based company that has the high cybersecurity and all the security protocols. We will teach you how to do all of that. What we're asking you to do is just to have the mindset that, yeah, I can hire one person. I can hire one person, and I can train that person and give that person an opportunity. So with that, Miracle, can you come on and join us?
Yes.
Can we see you, Miracle?
I think so. Yeah. Can you see me now?
Hold on, I don't see you. Can you see her? Hold on, let me stop sharing. Okay, there you go. All right. So Miracle, I gave everybody a little prep talk about your Black and Global experience. So you want to share where you are in the process now?
Yes, most definitely. Thank you very much, Melissa. Um, it's been a privilege, I must say, working with Black and Global Business Network, and the growth process has been super amazing. So first, I would want to give context as to what exactly means for Black-owned businesses or businesses in general to have representative in different countries. I'll give myself as an instance, right? So I'm currently in Kigali, and there is a US embassy here in Kigali. So that means we can be physically present at the embassy to talk about the opportunities that we have identified and we are looking to benefit from. So that's like one of the things I did recently. I went to the US Embassy here in Kigali. I was able to meet with them, the officials. I was able to speak with them regarding Black and Global Business Network, our plan for Black businesses, our goal for the year, the contracts we're looking to identify. And one of our focuses this year is to identify like businesses in Kigali that imports and then see how we can present these businesses in front of Black businesses in the US that are looking to export. It makes it a lot easier. So we are creating that contract opportunity. But we needed someone on ground to be able to have the conversation, to be able to, um, have or someone that has an understanding of how things work in the country. Because the truth is, there's a difference between what you read online, what you hear, the news you watch, and then what the reality is. And most times, the people that have the actual reality are people that have lived there for a while or have stayed in that environment and understand how people act and the buying and purchasing power of these people. So, going there, explaining what our needs were was the beginning of the conversation, and we are pushing for that. We're looking to get as many businesses as possible that import here in Kigali and then connect them directly with US businesses that are within our network, definitely Black owned businesses, and then see how we can, turn these opportunities into contracts. A typical example would be here in Africa, or let me say Kigali, there's high use of electronics, right? Specifically iPhones, right? And not necessarily a brand new iPhone. They call it US used or UK used. So we import or they import iPhone devices, um, could be any Apple device at all, and as a second hand, quote unquote, and then they sell it here. Those kind of products cannot be created here. They have to be imported no matter what you want to do. So that's a typical example of what we mean by identifying. Another thing is professional services. There are some services that are very relevant to people here. And we want to identify businesses that are looking for those services and then connect them with Black owned businesses that are within our network that can offer those services and offer it, appropriately. So that's like a typical example of what I do amongst other things. But like when it comes to physical representation, that's one of those. So yeah.
And Miracle, can you share about, so we had one company that wanted you to contact the president of a large corporation there in Rwanda, in Kigali, and they had been trying to reach the person that this huge, he was a CEO, but he was the former prime minister. Is that what it was? He was the
Yeah.
former prime minister. And so they asked if we could, and Miracle could, help with trying to set a meeting. Now they've been trying to get in touch with this person for months and could not get in front of this person. So Miracle, tell them what you did.
Okay, so I think it's a lot easier when you're texting somebody or you're emailing the person and you're telling the person, oh, I'm an international in your country, or I'm in the country right now, and I would want to have a follow-up meeting physically. So that's like typically what happened. I had sent an email, or we've sent series of emails. It wasn't working, so I had to like rephrase the email and make sure that I added the fact that I was physically present and I would want to have a meeting, and the wording. Thanks to Melissa and and grooming us on how to word emails and follow ups so that it converts. So that's typically what I did. Followed up and then searched for, thank God for the internet as well, searched for the contact details of the person, put a call across. Since I had a local number, put a call across, and then they got across to me. And in less than, I think it was less than 2 days, we were
Yep.
able to have a conversation. Well, the first conversation was with the president of the company. And then after the meeting with the president, he's like, I think you need to meet with the board of advisor. And the next meeting, I think it was the next day, was with the board of advisors, and yeah, that was pretty much it. So there's the conversion power that comes with knowing that this person is physically present and you're able to put a call across to them using a local number, it makes it a lot easier than it would be sending emails and going back and forth.
So let me ask you, now I'm interviewing you, Miracle. So have you, well, first let me ask you, tell everybody how old you are.
I'm 24.
She's 24. She is 24. And okay, Miracle, what's your degree in?
Nursing, and then a second degree in entrepreneurial leadership now.
Okay, so her background was in nursing. So you see, she took an opportunity in an area at Black and Global that she didn't know anything about. And so, but she was open to training and learning. So we wanted to share that with you so that you may better understand how there's an opportunity, because Miracle has a skill set, and which is consistency, working, she'll follow up. So Miracle, so you met with this, so you got the president of the company on the phone, right? And then you met with the president of the company. So now that was impressive, that in what people could not do in months in the US, she could do in 2 days. And then not only after that, you met with the board of advisor, who was the former prime minister of Rwanda, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about meeting his wife, his daughter, how you went to the hotel and all of that, and what happened.
Okay, so after the first meeting, there was an introduction done, and then we booked a second meeting, which was more formal, so to say. It was at a hotel. It was a very beautiful conversation. We got there. We talked about possibilities of the projects that we're looking to work on together, and what was the need, or what was needed, what was the where they needed help in, what they needed from us, what we needed from them. We found a common ground. Then I did the introduction between them, and I was the third party here. I was the middleman, rather. So I did the introduction between them and the necessary bodies. The conversation was had. They had calls, and it moved from being very formal to being friendly formal, which boils down to the relationship thing that Melissa was talking about, which still talks about, or still relates directly to the importance of building relationship. Even beginning of this year, the president of the company, quote unquote, reached out to say Happy New Year. Again, I'm still very young. They are way older than me, but there is room for conversation. There's a relationship that's been built. And if there is need for something else to happen in the future, I'm very much certain that there's possibility for that.
So, and what's amazing for us is that we could open that door for you. I mean, you often talk about how you're grateful to Black and Global, but just the added benefit that we as a company, just that we can create a job opportunity for you in Nigeria or Rwanda, and you can go represent us. So now you have access to American businesses. You have access to resources in the US. And you as a 24-year-old can go and meet with presidents of companies and former prime ministers, because of an American company. Now, the fact that this company was just an idea out of my head and that I could help you to do that, to me is quite mind blowing. But this is an example, Miracle, of why we're so keen on getting businesses in the US, our businesses, to hire young people like you. And so, Miracle, share with everybody. So you met with how much is this deal, Miracle? What's the dollar value?
Let me try to remember. I think it was, I can't remember. Was it $7 million? I can't remember how much exactly.
Mm-mm. Nope.
$700,000.
No, it's 700 million.
700 million. Yes,
700 million USD. 700 million USD. And she's 24. And for her to be handling that type of deal, I I told Miracle I can be her auntie. No, I could be her mom. But I can shepherd her through that deal because I do billion-dollar deals. So now she can leverage what I know so that she can learn how to put those kind of deals together. And she's grown to where she's going to the embassy, the US embassy. She's made relationships with them there. We're going to get a list of importers, people from Rwanda. What are you looking to buy? What services do you need? All of that is going to come directly through Miracle. Miracle's going to curate all of these contract opportunities that we'll bring to you. And Miracle's going to build our portfolio, not just in Rwanda, because we have an East African regional plan. And this is what I'm telling you about your strategic plan. Miracle is our who. Miracle is our who in East Africa, because she will be able to hop on a plane and now she can go to Kenya and she can go to other countries, and we will pay for the flights. We'll pay for the hotels. That cost is very inexpensive. Let me tell y'all, I got an invitation to speak in South Africa. And at a conference, guess who I was sending to go to speak in that conference? I wasn't going. I said, Miracle. Because, but look, in training her and investing in her, how do you go from a nursing education to working in a company where when you hear her speak, doesn't she sound like she understands the business? Doesn't she sound like she clearly understands what she's doing? She is the example that we want to present to Black-owned businesses to say, look at this level of talent. That now we have not only someone representing us in one country, but she's going to represent us in an entire region. I told Miracle when she started the outreach, I would love for her to be the Black and Global representative for all of Africa. I would love for her to be that. Look at that vision that we can give to her, because now she's able to get contracts. We're starting in Rwanda, then we'll spread, and she'll build a team on the ground. But our point to you is that if we can look at a $700 million deal and we can train a 24-year-old how to make those contacts, how to put that deal together. I'm the lawyer, so I'm going to review the deal to make sure that the deal is covered and the structuring and the going in and out. But the person on the front that's actually going to make that happen for us is someone who works on our team. This is very different from, oh, let me hire someone, let me just hire you in another country just to go and give me a contract. No, that person doesn't understand your business. They're not vested in what you're doing. They're not a part of your team. And so what we're saying to you all is hire one young African professional and invest in that person being on your team. You find the seat for that person to sit in. And at Black and Global, we will help train that person to do what Miracle is doing for us in those other countries. But we only want you to start with one country, because she's starting with one country and she's opening the doors in that one country. And so we really believe that you would be able to find some tremendous opportunities. We're really excited. This is our focus for 2025. And we need ideas, you all. We need ideas on how can we get in front of Black-owned businesses to get them to hire at least one. That's what we want to get your feedback on tonight. So with that, let me step back and ask anybody, does anybody have any comments for what we're talking about or want to share their thoughts or insights on what we're talking about?
Well, I love the focus that we're going to have this year. I was one of the people that attended I don't know if you knew about it, the 9-month tour of Africa. I think time flies so fast. I think it was the year before last, where the U.S. Commercial Service did a 9-month tour of Africa. So I was part of that, and so found out there is a lot of potential and opportunity for exporting in that on that continent. So I'm the type of person, I'm more like a turtle. So that one at a time, you know, the turtle won between the tortoise and the hare. You do know that.
Right, right.
And so the one, I think that's a doable type of thing. And she is representative of many, I'm sure, that just, it's just like, I know we're talking about Africa, but it's just like in America, anywhere else. A lot of times you have people that'll go and get a degree,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't get a job because they don't have any experience.
Right.
So to be able to have a lot of people that are willing and need an opportunity, and especially with what the political climate is like now, I think
Right.
I think what you've come up with, I think it is the next step, and think it'd be good and holistic for all of us. And
Yeah.
congratulations, Miracle, and good going, Melissa.
Yeah, I think that, Carol, that our goal is for you to hire someone that can strengthen you domestically.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, because many of us may not be able to afford the salary of someone
Mm-hmm.
in the US we can hire, but we can afford the salary of someone that's living in another country. Like with my team, we go over like the difference in costs, right? And like for example, Quincy, my EA, we're looking at stuff for the personal menu for my family, my grocery bill and all that. And she's like, I said, Quincy, I spend $400 a week on groceries. And that blew her mind. And so I'm saying, but there's six of us, there's six of us. And she said, Melissa, it'll cost us $200 a month for groceries for somebody, in our country. The cost of living is just so different. And so it affords us the opportunity. And this is how we're connecting it. You hire the person on the ground in the country that you choose to fill a spot on your team. So that person is going to have two roles, whatever the role is on your team, and they're going to get you contracts in that particular country. And as a part of fulfilling that global contract, now your revenue goes up. And now you can hire people in America. You can afford to hire people in America because now you're able to increase that. What could that look like? If you're distributing a product, and let me say this to you all. When I was talking to the VIP people earlier about my limiting beliefs, I'm working on them big time this year because I did not understand when people would say, oh, you could take what you make in a year and you can make that in a month. So how do you so if somebody's making $100, $200, $300,000 in a year, how do you make that in a month? I thought that was hyperbole. I thought, people trying to sell you something, smoking something, something, I don't know why. I just chose to believe that was not, I just didn't believe it, just to be honest with you. I did not believe it. But over the past few months, as the people that I have partnered with, the people that I have gone out to form relationships with, literally show me how they're building their businesses to do $400,000 a month in sales or in a container or $1 million a month. And I'm saying to myself, is this really real? This is what I want to know. But I'm looking at the contracts, I'm looking at the structure of the deals. I'm like, okay, yeah, my business is about to be, our company's about to be on this level. So listen, this is what I'm saying to you. Even if you're making $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, and some people may think I'm thinking small, and I might be, I don't know. I see the other people, I see how they're doing it. And to me, as long as it's legitimate, it's ethical, everything is above board, I'm all for it. I did not know people make money like that. I did not know, like one of the contracts for exporting rice. This woman wanted us to help her with exporting rice. She pays $72 million a month. She pays $72 million a month. And I was just like, okay, where you need rice from? Where you need, what do you need us to do to come in and help you with that? Now it's on the technical side for us because, as a lawyer, it's just the technical service that I'm providing. But I'm able to actually see how this deal is structured, what contracts are in place. You mean you can move these types of supplies? I mean, like literally, she WhatsApped me to say, Melissa, do you have a shipping company that is in your network? And we have a Black-owned shipping company that's in Black and Global. And I was so proud to refer this Black-owned shipping company because she had a problem with the shipping company that she was using. So it was a technical way that I came into the deal. It wasn't, for the $72 million. But the fact is, for me, my vision expanded. And I said, oh my goodness, you mean people are really making this kind of money? And so this is what I'm saying to you all about our who. This is what we have to do. She is a who. She put me on some committee with somebody, some ambassador with something. I said, Lord, that's just another thing on my list. But all of these people can open doors for us. So what I did was I pivoted to not exclude the US government, but I'm finding other who's that can help us as we are growing globally. And my mind is blown as I'm looking at this deal that Miracle, I was so shocked that she was so easily able to set up a meeting with this company. And so I just said, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take what we're doing, and it's not perfect. Don't look for perfection over here. Look for progress and look for money. Those are the two things you look for. So we are really wanting to get our businesses in a position to hire someone in these countries so that person can go and get these contract opportunities. And now you have somebody that's on your team that works for you, that has your interest, that you pay and you train to actually go out and be your who and get your contract. And then for those of you who may feel, oh, I can't afford this by myself, then team up, partner up. Everything is about partnership this year. It's about relationships. Partner up with somebody. Both of you hire one person. Both of you might be in the same industry. If both of you are furniture manufacturers and both of you all want to get contracts, then partner up and hire somebody, but pick one country and start out there and have that person to go and get you contracts. So this is our focus for 2025 is getting in front of our people to say hire one person. So what are the steps to do that? And we're going to wrap up. We got 1 minute left. What are the steps to be able to hire? Oh, I wanted to show you all, here are the industries of services that these young professionals can help in. You see all of these different areas? These are the different areas that Miracle is looking for contracts in for us. She's looking for contracts in all of these areas. And the U.S. commercial services in Rwanda, Miracle, what did they say to you?
They said it's very much possible and they're going to help out.
Exactly. And they're going to help us do that. And you know how much money we will pay in order for them to get us a list of these people for contracts? $30 US. That's how much we'll pay. So this process that we're doing, we think, we want to see a lot of success stories in this way. So with that, if you have any ideas or thoughts that you want to share with us on how we can get our businesses to hire, can you come on and share that with us right quick? What are some ways that we can get in? Because with 10,000 young people, if you look at, it's 1.5 million people. That's a lot of people. But 10,000 is a good enough number to make an impact. And I'm telling y'all, this year I'm reaching out to the president of the African Union. I'm like, look, we want to come and hire some people in Africa, and in exchange for that, we want some contracts to sell our products and services. That's what we're saying. This is what we're saying. We're going to hire the people. All 50,000 plus of these people are looking for their first opportunity to work for an overseas company. And they're in 47 countries. That gives us 47 markets to start in. And we want you all to pick one of these countries to hire in. So what are some ideas?
Not an idea, just I'm sorry, this is Joe.
Oh, hey, Joe. Happy New
Hi,
Year.
how are you? Same to you. Same to you. I've spoken with Miracle before when you had your virtual conference, and yes, you're very talented. Congratulations for her and you. But question, since a lot of us, as you said earlier, are solopreneurs and micropreneurs, how do we then go about approaching making ourselves attractive enough to hire somebody to then have them approach these various contract holders or potential contract holders? Because like I have ideas, but since I'm just concerned that like a lot of us are so small that we wouldn't be taken seriously.
Yeah, we're small. I mean, comparatively speaking, I mean, literally, we're just a network of people. We help people get, contracts, yes, but in terms of like we're a small group. I think it's sometimes it's anywhere from 5 to 8 of us on the team. But this is so let me step back a couple of things. We're gonna have a hiring fair for Black History Month. And at that hiring fair, we're working with the remote work company to get them to showcase the talent and talk about how you can go about hiring. So we're going to send you all the information to go sign up on their platform. It's free. To set up your profile on their platform, it's free. To set up a one-on-one consultation with them, it's free. You don't pay any money until after you have gone through the interview and vetting and onboarding process. And the process has an educational piece to it, which means they'll teach you they'll help you to write your job description. They'll help you to clarify which position you want to hire for first. And then once they help you with your job description, they'll help you to post it. Then they'll help you to vet who are the potential people to apply. And the other thing I love is their interviewing process. They set up a meeting on Zoom. They set it up for a 1 hour or 2 hour block, depending on how many people you want to interview. You are on Zoom like this, and everybody else is in the waiting room. So they understand the entrepreneur's time. And you literally interview people back to back for 30 minutes in order to do that. They do the background checks, the reference checks, they do all of that. So you will learn how to hire the person. But it is a process. And I'm going to tell you one thing I learned when I started out and I wanted to hire a virtual assistant. As is typical of Melissa, information is comforting to me. So I took a lot of classes. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. But the best information that I got was you work with your virtual person for 6 months. Because one of the problems that I had is I would just offload stuff and not give them guidance. But I think one of the things that has made us successful is generally the person will come into the company as my EA. And then the person will work alongside me and learn how I think, how I write, how I do it the Black and Global way. And as we do that and they come to understand, then they move to a different role. Now that might not be your process, but if you are willing to make that investment, Miracle definitely has increased the revenue in our company. So that's how you would do it, Joe. And when I started out, it was just me. And then I hired a virtual assistant. And then I hired 2. And then I think I hired as many as 8 or 7, something like that. I lose track. I lose track.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. So, okay. Who else has a comment or thought or question? So do you all think this is something you all would participate in?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Laura, what do you think? You're on mute. Carolette, what do you think?
I could use virtual assistant.
Okay,
And
awesome.
I like your process of bringing people in, doing that. That not saying that necessarily work for everybody, but I see myself. I think that would be a good process for me to use as well,
Mm-hmm,
because the vision needs to come from the top down.
mm-hmm,
So being able to know that person's voice and thought processes and what their expectations are, and know that firsthand, I think
mm-hmm,
that's very key to the success for both of all parties involved.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me say real quickly, thank you, Melissa, for taking a chance on yourself and starting Black and Global and starting it when you did. I'm a spiritual person, you know that, and I know that based upon your obedience at that time, put us in position to be able to pivot
Mm-hmm,
during what's happening that is out of our control at this point. So
mm-hmm.
it's just amazing how when we obey the spirit at the divine time, then everything just aligns well. So I knew that, but I wanted to recognize that openly.
Thank you, Carolette.
For such a time as this.
I appreciate that. Let me tell you, we meeting with the ambassador to the African Union. I say, what? Yeah. I just text somebody. They're like, okay, we setting this up. I'm just like, I say all the time, I'm a country girl from Oakfield, Georgia. Do y'all understand that? So yeah, I agree, Carolette. It's definitely our time. So and can you all imagine 100 years from now? What the world would look like where you take in Black entrepreneurs and they have started to literally hire thousands and thousands of people on the continent. You talk about how the African Union divided the continent into 6 regions, 5 on the continent, and the 6th region is the diaspora. And what they ask for is the diaspora to bring their skills and talents back home. Well, how do you do that? What's the mechanism for that? This is a mechanism where you are able to hire someone to help you so you get benefit to build your domestic business. You transfer your knowledge. I took my knowledge of international business and helped a 24-year-old nursing graduate who does an amazing job to take that concept. Now Miracle's getting her master's degree. And Miracle, and for her master's degree, she has to have an internship. And so part of what the work that she does at Black and Global, she uses for getting her master's degree. Now, can you imagine me? I had to write a letter. I said, Miracle, write the letter, really, but to be able to send a letter to a university in Rwanda to say this master's level student is doing this level of work. Now I'm transferring knowledge. So whatever she chooses to do in the future, I'm very happy to say that we have contributed to opening doors and creating an opportunity and creating a job so that she can sustain herself. And she, in turn, is building business for us, not only in the US, but also on the continent of Africa. And that's the vision, the 100 years from now, where we see people that are benefiting from what we're doing now. And we're starting in America, but we'll have Black businesses in Canada, Black businesses in Germany, Black businesses in the UK. Our goal, that's why we say Black entrepreneurs. Hire at least one person and make that commitment in 2025, and then see how your business changes and train that person to be your who. Whatever you need in your business, train that person to help you with being on your team, increasing your user experience, and also have that person to help you to drive sales and get revenue. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to wrap us up for our 2025. You all see the vision. Awesome. This sounds great, Laura. Okay, I'm happy you're on board. So as I always love to say, 2025 is going to be an amazing year. I am your sister and servant, Melissa Muhammad. We are the Black and Global Business Network, globalizing our connection, keeping us in the Black, and we'll see you around the globe. Thank you and good night, everyone.